So that's it. 2-0 to Melbourne City. Just as I suspected, we lose comfortably. We just got outclassed. Melbourne City are a much better team than Sydney FC. Sydney FC just have some quality players in there like Barjuan, Barbarouses, Lafondra, Ninkovic, and Ryan Grant. All those sorts of players. Melbourne City just have a well-driven team. They don't really have any standout players. I know they have McLaren, who's just banging in the goals. He obviously scored last night. And they've got a really good defender in Curtis Good when he's fit. But, yeah, not much to say. I was expecting a 2-0 win, so this video might be a little bit short, but I'll find a few topics to talk about. But I have actually got some things to talk about on my phone. And a really, really, really quick thing. I know this is a Newcastle video, so I'll keep this short and sharp. Bournemouth are going to go down. We just lost 1-0 to Norwich. Anyway, that's not what this is about. Let's start off with, just 8 minutes in, we conceded. Craig Noon with an absolute corker. He didn't smack it, he didn't overhit it, he just took a touch on the edge of the box and curled it into the corner. It was a fantastic finish. Nothing we really could have done. Italiano had absolutely no chance. Not really much to talk about in that circumstance. Jackson and Topper, the two centre-backs. Now, they had some really poor moments and some average moments. They weren't terrible, but they weren't good. They certainly weren't good. Nick FITZGERALD. How does he still get in this team? I get it, we have injuries, all that crap, but I don't care. Put Arroyo out on the right, Shepherd up top. I know Deans doesn't know this team as well as Ernie may have, but is it not painfully obvious to see that FITZGERALD he's a fine player, but he doesn't play well for us? I mean, he would have been watching his former club, Melbourne City, today, saying, what am I missing here? Why have I just left Melbourne City? He was actually decent at Melbourne City. Then we bought him, which, again, I thought at the time was a fine transfer because he's a decent player, but he's not playing well for us. So drop him. I don't care about his morale. I don't care that we have injuries. There are options to work around this. Don't play him. He is not good enough. It's a difficult one because he is a good player, but he's just not playing. So when I say he's not good, I'm referring to his form, okay? Because trust me, he is a very good player, but he has no end product. He constantly loses the ball. He's not good enough. Oh, God. Italiano stepped in for Moss today. He's going to be out for so long. Bless Glenn Moss, man. He does a good job. He's not that good of a keeper, but he does a good job for his ability, and I absolutely love him for that. But he has suffered a horrible injury against Sydney, and Italiano is a good backup, so hopefully he can do well. He made a very good appearance today. First start of the season, he did really well. Arroyo ruled offside rightfully. Now, what I meant by that was he scored. Arroyo scored. I know, shock of the day, right? Arroyo was actually getting a lot more involved today, but it was played through to him through the Sydney defence. We just split it open. Arroyo sprinted through, collected the ball. Great finish, but he was offside by a good 70, 80 centimetres, so not really much to talk about that. But yeah, so pretty much that's all there is to say about that because, yeah, he was offside, just good finish, but again, offside, so it doesn't really matter. Now, the next one I've got here is just Hoffman missed a sitter. So the thing with that was Hoffman, edge of the box, it wasn't a sitter, okay? He could have got the shot on target and still had it saved, and there would have been no criticism whatsoever. But he blasted it nearly out of the stadium. You think I'm joking? Hoffman, he was pretty poor today. Apart from FITZGERALD, he was probably our worst player. Second worst, obviously. Bar FITZGERALD, that was poor. The penalty. Now, a lot of people were saying this was a penalty, and a lot of Jets players were agreeing, or Newcastle fans, sorry, and a lot of City fans were actually saying it probably wasn't, because Delbridge quite literally raised Topper's arm. Topper was trying to battle against him, fairly, may I add, and Delbridge, who was in our box trying to get his noggin on it, lifted his arm to hit the ball. You can clearly see he forcefully pushed his arm up to hit the ball. Topper didn't even appeal. If Topper tries to appeal that, it even went to VAR and they didn't see that. Honestly, VAR in A-League is not great. In the Premier League, it's even worse, obviously, but it's not great. Just install a bunker or something on A-League. Honestly, it would be so much better. But regardless, it's not a penalty, I don't think. If there was no contact from Delbridge on his arm and there was no forceful pushing onto the ball, then that's just 100% a penalty. And I could not argue against that whatsoever. But he's forcefully pushed Topper's arm onto the ball, and I think Topper could have restrained against that, but I think it was a poor decision. And of course, McLaren steps up and puts it away. So yeah, I think I already mentioned that Italiano had a good game. He didn't do anything wrong. He couldn't have done better on the penalty. It was right in the corner. Quick word on McLaren, by the way. How on earth have Melbourne City poached him? Honestly, he's such a good striker, man. I don't really get... He's still only 26 or 27 or something like that. So he's at the peak right now, and you can tell, eh? I mean, Brisbane let him go when he just wasn't performing as well as he had been at, Perth and stuff. Look at him now. I mean, he's potentially the future Australian star striker. I mean, you've got a former Premier League player in Adam Lafondra on the same amount of goals as him. Just saying. I'm just saying that. But yeah, so that's pretty much all there is to say. I know it's a short video, but 2-0, comfortable win for Melbourne City. I've gone over pretty much all the points we have. I'm sorry, I cannot get the fact that we still play with FITZGERALD out of my head. Like, honestly, ridiculous. Burns was pretty good again today, but wasn't as good as against Sydney FC. But you can't be world class every game. Matt Miller was brilliant again today. Petratos went missing. It's times like these where we need our talisman, bro. Like, since Houlihan got injured, it's a chance for Dimmy to finally play in his preferred position. I think he's better out on the right or the left, mostly the right, but he prefers playing cam. So, do you want to actually play there instead of just not doing anything? I mean, you're so wasteful, like... Oh, honestly. I'm just taking it all out on Petratos. He didn't do anything wrong. He just didn't get involved. I'm angry. We've lost so many games in a row now. We've dropped so many points. When we first drew to the Central Coast, I thought, okay, we're not going to have a breakout season. We might make top 6, whatever. We're bottom of the league. Shut up, computer. Why are you going off now, you idiot? We're bottom of the league by some distance as well, and we're like halfway through the season, not even. It's just horrendous. I think, again, sacking Ernie was the right decision. Deans has to... We can't blame any of this on Craig Deans. I mean, isn't he the women's coach? And I'm not saying that women's football and men's football is different. I know it's a different caliber, and I'm not saying that to be sexist or whatever. Like, men are generally just more athletic, and I don't like it that way. I think I would love to have mixed gender sports. I think that would be awesome, but we can't. It would just be stupid. Because I'm not bragging. I don't want this to be the case, but men would just win every time. I'm getting a bit sidetracked though. Oh, what was the point I was on about? I actually forgot now. Oh yeah, so Craig Deans, not really a coach of a men's team, and the men's and women's team completely different tactical structures. They have completely different tactical structures because, and you could tell that when you were watching Newcastle play. It's a lot more direct, and I think that leaves gaping holes at the back. And I don't think direct play is very good for such an unclinical team. I know the Newcastle women's team is a very clinical side. They're not the best team in the league. I mean, that's obviously, either Brisbane or Western Sydney or maybe Melbourne City. And also the women's lost to Melbourne City. I can't remember what the score was. I think it might have been 2-0. But, yeah. Basically, it's just... we need a replacement manager. That's what I'm trying to say here. We need a manager. A proper... first team A-League manager. immediately. We need it ASAP, okay? Deans has done a fine job, but he's not obviously going to get the permanent job. He's yet to win. He's lost 2-1 and 2-0. Oh, God. Why did that happen in my last video? I think twice as it happened in my last video as well. It's kind of weird, but I'm very tired. I was watching that on a device while I was at the cricket. I was at Spotless Stadium. I saw Damien Cook there. We were watching the Sydney Smash in the BBL. Thunder won, which is very good. And next to me, I had a little tablet, and I was watching the Newcastle game. And when we conceded first, I thought, okay, yeah, this is going to go exactly how I thought. Because we actually started okay. I mean, I know Noon had a massive chance at the start, but he fortunately missed. But then 2 minutes later, he scored. But again, there's not much to talk about, but that's basically just what happened. We just got outclassed. So I do thank you for watching. And if you want me to keep going with these Newcastle reviews and the career mode videos and all that sort of stuff, then do leave a like, comment, subscribe, and share. And yeah, I'll just see you guys in the next video that I make.